What if I told you there was a hotel room in Boston, room 429, that had been reserved under the same name, on the same date, every single year, for 19 years? No one checked in, no one touched the bed, no one ever stayed there. But the card on file? Tom Brady. At first, hotel staff thought it was a mistake, then a superstition, then just another rich guy quirk. But last night, on the 20th year, someone finally walked through the door. Not Tom, not anyone from his team. It was a teenage boy, alone, holding a photo. And the front desk staff? They froze. Because the moment they saw his face, they understood exactly why Tom had been keeping that room empty for almost 2 decades. But none of them said a word. They just handed him the key and watched as he stepped into the room that had been untouched for 19 years and slowly closed the door behind him. 2 hours later, a call came to the front desk. "This is Tom Brady. If anyone asks who was in that room, you didn't see anything, and you didn't hear from me." Click. Line went dead. But it was him, no doubt. Now here's the thing. Nobody knows the full story. But if you trace back 19 years to the exact date this reservation began, you'll find something strange. A high school game, a small town just outside San Mateo, California, and a crash that happened 37 minutes after the game ended. 2 cars, 1 dead, no arrests, no news coverage, no follow-up, only a short police report, and 1 name listed under witness on scene: Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. Yeah, Tom Brady. 19 years ago, Tom Brady was on top of the world. The Patriots had just clinched a critical win. Reporters swarmed him, fans screamed his name. He was the golden boy of the NFL. But hours after the game, he vanished. No team dinner, no press follow-up. He just got in his car and drove straight to a dusty high school field 2 towns over. There was no one there, just dim lights, scattered popcorn, and 1 teenager still sitting on the empty bleachers. That teen? Eli Stone. No media ever mentioned him. No record ever tied him to Tom Brady. But they knew each other. Because once, long before fame, before the NFL, Brady had volunteered at a youth quarterback camp. Eli was 7, quiet, skinny, eyes too old for his age. Brady saw something in him. Every time he returned to California, he'd swing by Eli's school, sometimes to talk, sometimes just to watch. He told his inner circle, "That kid reminds me of what I used to be," before anyone cared. But then, something changed. June 12, 2005, Eli was hit by a drunk driver after leaving a late-night practice. No witnesses, no charges, just a broken body and silence. Except, someone had called it in. The 911 transcript read, "He's still breathing. Please hurry. His name's Eli. He's just a kid." The caller never identified himself, but the call came from a blocked number. And the location? Less than 3 miles from where Tom Brady's phone had last pinged that night. The next morning, reporters asked why he hadn't shown up for the team flight. Brady just said, "Car trouble." But that same day, he made a call to a hotel in Boston. Reserved room 429 for every June 12th, indefinitely, and he never missed a payment, not once. But here's the part no one expected, because Eli survived the accident, but he never spoke again. Brain trauma, long-term care, unclaimed, no visitors, no press. Only a monthly check from Thomas E. Brady Jr. sent to a private rehab facility under a fake corporate name. No one ever asked questions. No one was supposed to. Until last night, When Eli's son checked into room 429, the boy in the hallway, not a stranger, not a fan, but someone looking for the truth his father could never speak. And the photo he held? It was from that same football field, Tom and Eli, smiling, before everything went silent. The boy's name was Noah Stone, 17 years old, quiet, focused, and carrying a secret his mother never wanted him to discover. But a week ago, after she passed away, he found it. A sealed envelope, inside a photo, 2 names, and 1 handwritten sentence. If anything ever happens to me, go to room 429. He owes us both that much. The handwriting wasn't his mother's, it was his father's. The same father who had never spoken a word in Noah's life. The man who sat in a chair by the window of a care home for 17 years, smiling softly, but never saying a thing. Noah didn't even know what happened to him. No one told him, until that letter, and that photo. So now here he was, standing in the room Tom Brady had reserved every year for 2 decades, waiting. He didn't know what to expect. An explanation, an apology, a man? But what he found was a notebook on the desk, wrapped in plastic, untouched. Its cover read, "For the day he walks in." Inside, page after page of handwritten letters, all from Tom Brady. He flipped through the first one. "Eli, I don't know if you'll ever read this. I don't even know if you're alive right now. But if you are, I need you to know. I should have stayed that night. I should have followed the ambulance. I should have gone public. But I was scared of what it would cost me. So I stayed silent. I let them think you were just another accident, just a headline that never made it. But every year I came here, to this room, to wait, to make sure the world never fully swallowed you." Noah's hands trembled. He had never heard his father's story, never seen him cry, never seen him speak. And now, through the pages of another man's guilt, he was starting to understand. Noah kept reading. Some letters were full of memories, some just a single sentence. "You saved me before I ever threw a pass. I made a career out of precision, but I never fixed the one moment that mattered most. If your son ever finds this, tell him I never stopped watching. I just didn't think I deserved to be seen." That line broke Noah, because in that moment, he wasn't the son of a silent man. He was the child of a story no one had ever told. And when he turned to the last page, he found a hotel key and a note. "He's waiting for you, room 17, Glenmont Care Center. Ask for Eli, he'll know." Noah didn't wait. He left the hotel that same morning, took a cab to the Glenmont Care Center. He didn't tell anyone where he was going, didn't know what he'd say. He just knew he had to go. When he walked into room 17, the air felt heavier. There he was, Eli Stone, his father, sitting by the window, just like always, still, silent, hands resting on his lap. The nurses said he hadn't spoken in years, that they weren't even sure if he knew what was happening around him. But as Noah stepped into the room, Eli turned his head and blinked once, then smiled. It was small, barely a twitch, but it was real. Noah sat down, pulled out the notebook, started reading, letter by letter, for hours, until finally, he reached the last page. The one Brady had never mailed. It was dated the night before, a fresh letter, ink still smudged, written just in case. "Noah, I don't know what you think of me, and you have every right to hate me, but your father saved me long before I ever stepped onto a Super Bowl field. When I was 20, I thought being great meant being seen. Your dad showed me it meant being present. He taught me that the people who matter aren't the loud ones, they're the ones who stay. And I didn't stay. I failed him. but I never forgot. If you're reading this, you're the second chance I never thought I'd get." Noah didn't cry, not then. He just folded the letter and reached for his father's hand. Eli flinched. Then he squeezed back, 3 fingers, tight, and whispered, for the first time in 17 years, "Noah." That night, Tom Brady walked into room 429 one last time. He didn't bring a letter, didn't sit on the bed, didn't turn on the light. He just stood in the dark for a few minutes, then reached into his jacket and placed something on the pillow. A photo, 2 boys, a field, one smiling, one watching, and under it, a sticky note. He said your name today. Then he turned around and left the room for good. He didn't book it again, didn't call the hotel, didn't say a word, because sometimes closure doesn't need an audience, it just needs time, and someone brave enough to come back. If this story made you stop scrolling, if it made you feel something, like the video comment below. Would you have walked into room 429? And don't forget to subscribe to Yrots Stories, because sometimes the people who change our lives don't wear jerseys, they just stay.